So everybody, in my experience, is sitting on a mountain of gold in their network. Think about how many Zoom calls you've been on, how many events you've been to, how many groups you're part of, like everybody listening here. All those contacts are a mountain of gold. So we do a deal flow technique to look through those contacts and see who would be a good fit live, and then make those intros.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Pivot to Profit, where we are talking with Sebastian Cruze, who is an expert in all things referrals and marketing and helping service providers grow their network. So Sebastian, I am so pumped to have this conversation. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great and happy to be here.
Awesome. Sebastian and I actually know each other in real life. We're part of a couple business mastermind together, so it's always fun to see you in person, but I will take video as well. So let me formally introduce you. Sebastian is the founder of Dream Team 100, a referral mastermind of 6- and 7-figure coaches. It's a community of referral partners who promote each other's high-ticket programs, events, and services. He's on a mission to raise consciousness in the USA through referrals and community, more wealth, health, and happiness. As a 9-year mastermind leader, he's generated over $15 million for his clients. He's also a master energy healer of 14 years, blending business success with true calling and soul alignment. I love this because I know you personally, that's exactly your heart and who you are. So super excited to have this conversation. Sebastian, let's start with, what did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be when I grew up? Acting was on my mind when I was like in 2nd grade, and it was all about making people laugh and having a good time. So it wasn't like the serious acting. It was acting of a character or something to get people to laugh. And It's interesting you asked that question, because that has been a theme of my journey of like, there's times where I get serious with the mission, the focus, the results, and it's kind of like this ever-present reminder to, lighten up, get in that fun energy, and that's when the magic, the connections, the great ideas happen anyways, so you blast from the past with that question.
I love it. So what was little Sebastian taught about money?
Well. So I grew up Catholic, and the experience I had was there was a lot of shame and blame around money. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven.
Yes.
I'm like, whoa, how does that even work? Now, come to find out, an eye of a needle is like a place it's a passageway that a camel just needs to get down on its knees and go.
Kneel on and crawl through, yeah.
Exactly. So there's a little interpretation there, but that's essentially, there was these tropes, these ideas, also blessed are the poor,
Right.
And so a lot of framing there of guilt, and so I'd say that.
And I will say a lot of that is not helpful for us as adults trying to be in the marketplace. And a lot of those, I grew up in church as well. A lot of those sayings and verses that are quoted, if you look in context, it's a completely different story as to what they're talking about. But that's not what they say from stage, right? From stage, they just quote the thing and then drop and go on. And you hear these things, you're like, oh my gosh, money's bad. No, money is not bad.
Right, exactly. And since it's interesting we're talking about the church, I was literally sitting in church because I grew up in a Catholic school till 6th grade. And I was sitting there and I was like, wait a second, I'm hearing that money is bad. And I started thinking of all the stress in my parents' lives and family's life. And I'm like, wait a second, that's all rooted in money. Not enough money, too much bills, want too much, take too much, don't take too much, rationing certain things. And that's what I realized. I was like, wait a second, that's actually the root cause that I'm seeing of all this stress. So why don't I focus on solving that, and then things can be better and happier.
I love that you saw that connection of like, money is causing all these stress. If I just get more money and solve the money problem, then that stress goes away. So let's talk about your early career, Sebastian. Where did we start?
Yeah, like any person connected to the internet, I saw the dream of blogging from the beach and making millions. And so I started my website when I was in senior year of high school. And I put money into that, got my website up, and I waited for everybody to come to the website. And as you can imagine, nobody was finding the website. So then that introduced me to marketing of, okay, getting people to it. And that's what led me to going to an event, to an event, to an event. And the rest was history in that way of meeting other entrepreneurs.
I love it. And you've talked about a turning point in your career is when you shifted from just let's make more money to serve more people. So tell us about that migration for you.
Yes. So fast forward to when I was 24 and I had passive income in my online marketing business. And I could feel though it wasn't connected to my calling, what I was truly here to do. And I had a mentor who had always encouraged being connected to your calling, purpose, passion, profit, all flowing together. Shout out to Yannick Silver. And so I found myself, I'm like, I want my business to be connected to my calling, but I didn't know what that was. So I was in a plane flight one day and I opened up a notebook and I felt this desire to start drawing. And my hand started going on autopilot on its own. Minutes passed by and I looked down and there was two distinct symbols there. And that's when I just felt a rush, a wave of energy going up and down. And that's when my whole life mission opened up to me. And I heard the voice, it was like a crash. And what I saw was that for thousands of years, the most powerful people on the planet have been using and abusing the people on the planet. And I saw that a window of time would open where new leaders could rise and serve instead of being corrupted, speak truth instead of censorship, and collaborate instead of being a lone wolf, dog-eat-dog world. And I also saw that the window of time wouldn't be open forever. And when it closed, who knows how long it would be before it opened again, how many thousands of years it would take for the conditions to be ripe, because there's so much control and structure that's entrenched. So the message I got was, this is way too much for any one person to do alone. Yeah. And the mission I received was to unite these new leaders. And so that's what is the heartbeat of everything that I do. And this was before COVID. This was before so much corruption has come to light in institutions, three-letter agencies, government. So in that moment when it all came to me in 2016, I thought, well, how do I make sure I don't back down from this mission?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I tattoo the symbols on my body, it'd be pretty hard to back down then. Yeah. So that's what I did as soon as I got home.
I love it. So you've created Dream Team 100, which is a mastermind bringing business owners and thought leaders together to create synergistic relationships. So help us understand how that works and the power of it.
Yes, so the focus is scaling with referrals and partnerships. Scale your business with referrals and partnerships. And how we do that is by being a community of referral partners who promote each other's high-ticket programs, events, and services. And what I find is that many people are in amazing masterminds, yet none focus 100% on sending referrals, which is pretty crazy because that's the number one reason people join is the relationships, the people. So we keep the main thing by focusing on referrals and generating deal flow for each other, which could be for new clients, speaking opportunities, or partnerships. And all of that together is connected with the mission of raising consciousness in the USA, because ultimately a business built on referrals is built on love and actually serving the clients, instead of what we usually see with the churn and burn marketing style businesses that are based on force and fear. So that all comes together to keep the main thing, which is scale with referrals and partnerships.
Referrals is one of the biggest way that I've grown my business as well. I've, tens of thousands of dollars burned in Meta and all those kind of things that didn't bring me anything. So referrals has definitely been a game changer. How have you seen businesses scale through referrals and just that network growing and growing?
Yes. So first step is to be easy to refer. probably be surprised. I know I've been of 6-figure, 7-figure businesses where you ask like, hey, what do you do? Who do you serve? And there's a whole word salad that comes out. And there's not much clarity. And I know you and I have had conversations on this, because when someone asks you this question, bam, it's clear, it's fun, it's connected, and I've experienced it firsthand. So first part is being easy to refer instead of being hard to refer. And then the second part is a deal flow technique that we do to generate the referrals live. So everybody, in my experience, is sitting on a mountain of gold in their network. Think about how many Zoom calls you've been on, how many events you've been to, how many groups you're part of, like everybody listening here. All those contacts are a mountain of gold. So we do a deal flow technique to look through those contacts and see who would be a good fit live, and then make those intros. And as simple as it is, every session of doing that turns into 5, 10, sometimes even more live referrals from a person. So you do that technique once a week. You start getting so full of referrals, you have other problems, which is delivery. And that's what happened for me when this really clicked. Is I 10x'd my rates in 7 months, I believe. I have to look at the exact, it was around that time. And also I got flooded with so many referrals, I had to pause for 9 months. And so with this, you truly have the ability to scale at will, turn the referrals up or turn them down like a knob on like a volume knob on a speaker. And you might ask, why would you ever want to turn referrals down? It's because delivery becomes the bottleneck, and you need to stabilize before you grow more.
Supply and demand, right? So if you get all of all of these leads coming in, if you can't fulfill on it, you will burn clients, you will burn relationships. So especially if you're relying on referrals to get clients, you need to make sure that your delivery is on point and that you're bringing value, because it's a trust transfer from the referee to you. And so if you scaled too quickly and you drop the ball, it makes everybody look bad. So it's imperative that sometimes you do need to turn that dial down to get your house in order so that you can fulfill on those services for those clients. And I'm sure you've seen that. And it's exactly where you were, where it's like, look, I've got all these leads and I can't make it happen. So I need to calm it down, build the foundation, build the team, build the processes, and then turn it back up.
Yes, absolutely. A phrase that came to me recently, my girlfriend Roxy actually said, there's a time to go and there's a time to slow. Time to go, time to slow. And that's that stabilization period, getting the house in order.
I love it. Yes. She sounds like Dr. Seuss with the rhyming. Time to go, time to slow. I love it. So with your Dream Team 100, what sort of outcomes are you looking for? Because your intro said you've helped generate over 15 million for your clients, but like, what are the outcomes that you're trying to help your clients achieve?
Yes. So everybody is a purpose-driven coach or a agency that serves purpose-driven coaches. So everybody has a high-ticket program between $2,500 to $250K plus. So with that, the first milestone to look at is, how can we just get one client that pays for the retreat itself or pays for the membership itself? Because then once that happens, then it feels like the rest of the experience is free. It feels like it, right? And then we're just stacking and stacking from a place of peace and strength rather than, hustle and grind. So that's what I take a look at, is what's the number one program that a person would like referrals for right now? Let's zero in on that and let's generate deal flow for that. And what I find too is most people, even before they get new referrals, they're actually surrounded by prospects that are really warm, and they just haven't heard the clarity of their offer. So actually there's a pre-step of collect the gold in your warm network first, certain technique there. So I find that people generate a good amount of sales without even getting their first referral actually.
And it's understanding how to explain what you do and making yourself easily to refer, like you said, and then also having a good offer. So how do you help people articulate what the marketplace wants? What's a good offer? How can it be referable to others?
Yes. So a few things is I like to say be boring with what you do, be unique with how you do it. Be boring with what you do, be unique with how you do it. Because, for example, when people ask me, what do you do? I say referrals. Okay, there are going to be tons of people. Good. People can understand what that is. And I feel like if people can't understand, the door stays closed in their mind. So
Yeah.
referral, okay, opens up. Tell me more. Well, then I can share the mastermind. I can share the deal flow, all those unique things, the energy healing. So that's what I would recommend. And what I find is that there's a very clear difference between low six figures, mid six figures, and seven figures. And I'm blessed to see as a community leader a lot of the data of offers and people and what are patterns. So what I find is that low six figures, people take the feedback personally. If we give them offer or feedback on their offer, it is attacking them, or it's at least affecting them, their self-worth, their themselves. Whereas seven figures understands that, like, okay, I'm not my offer, you're not your offer, that's just the offer. And it's almost like a race to get feedback, to refine it. And the more honest, the better. And it's not personal. It's objective. And so that would be my recommendation, is be boring with what you do, be unique with how you do it, have 3 to 5 conversations in community with other people, learn through conversations. One of our mottos is community is the key. Community is the key. Because ChatGPT, Claude, whatever is fantastic to like 80% of the way, but that last 20%, in my experience, has to come through conversations to actually know what human beings are going to pull out their credit card and buy.
Yeah. How do you distinguish between sales pitching and referrals? Because there are some people that think of referrals and they just want to pitch instead of give. So how do you help people make that distinguish between just sell and refer?
Yes, so that to me is really community leadership. And people will call me like a super connector and certain things. And really what I see myself as a community leader, and that's based on the values. What's the values, the mission, and the vision of the community? So with our mission, raise consciousness in the USA, what are our values? Well, generosity is a value. Focus is a value. Collaboration, we win together. So that being a core of, it's lame to be the greedy person that receives, nom, 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 nom. They're always eating, always more, and they're not giving anything back. To me, that's the most lame thing. It's like, so as a value-wise, it's like, no, it feels good and powerful to be generous and to share. And as you receive it back, share it back. And one of the things I was just sharing on our call is like, hey, if you get a referral, when you get a referral from somebody that's outside of our deal flow sessions, just out of the blue, it's a fun game. Look through your contacts and send them 2.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to get 2, and then send them, always double what you receive, because then it's a spiral up together, and it's really simple. That's the thing, is this stuff doesn't need to be hard, and it's not hard. It's just a handful of things done consistently with the right people, and then it's fun.
I love it. So what's next on the horizon for you, Sebastian? What are you looking forward to?
Yes, so we've got our retreat coming up here, August 27th, 28th, 29th in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're in a massive property that has a lazy river in the middle. And yeah, they're just my favorite because it's people that I love. I love seeing everybody jam, scale together, create these unforgettable memories. And so that's our focus, preparing for that, about a month away.
So now, as a business owner of Dream Team 100, where talking back to the money and the mindset, where have you landed with money now? Is money good? Is money bad? Is money scarce? What is money to you today, Sebastian?
Yes, so it's neutral. It's a tool. And yeah, it's interesting to rethink because there was definitely a period of my journey where I feel like I had to unwind all of those patterns constantly. I was focusing on it. And now that's not really the focus, which I feel like is good. Where my mind right now is with money is budgeting with a profit first system and really working on staying within those budgets, within the certain phases. And that's really where my attention is right now, because, back before, it's like there's one account or maybe a couple and the money comes in, and if it's there, it wants to be spent.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, like, having, 6 or 7 accounts, buckets, where every dollar gets split up in those percentages, and storing things away, for the government and all the, I'm not even going to go on the uses of that money, but being very responsible and stable, and really building up these accounts and building up the reserves in each account, so that the frequency is of peace and strength all throughout, and scaling from there.
And Profit First is an amazing tool because it is using multiple bank accounts to manage your cash flow. So you know exactly how much money you have and what it's for. So this is for your payroll. This is for your team. This is to pay yourself. This is to put away for tax strategy or paying taxes, right? Here's your profit account. This brings you freedom. And it just helps you sleep at night knowing that there's money in the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's the interesting thing too, because it's like, if there's not budget for something, get creative. And so as we've been scaling a different team and staff, and that's been an interesting thing to get creative as well and work within, the rules of the system.
Sebastian, thank you so much for sharing your profit story with us. Where can people connect with you?
Yes, so for our next retreat, dreamteam100.ai/retreat. So dreamteam100.ai/retreat, as well as Instagram is a great way to connect. Sebastian Cruze, E on the end of Cruze, and that would be the way to connect.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Like I said, truly a big fan of you. I've been on some of your calls and see how you orchestrate these conversations. Highly, highly recommend. And in person, you're just a lot of fun. So appreciate that. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. That's all for today's episode of Pivot to Profit. If you need help understanding your numbers, want to know how to implement Profit First, just go to pamjordan.com, schedule a call with my team. We'd love to help you. And remember, it's not what you make that matters, it's what you keep.